Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. On today's Duel Review, it's Heavy Rain. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it. Welcome to another Duel Review. Today is the 17th of January, and we are doing Heavy Rain, the video game.
That's right, and that came out in 2010, I believe. Yep, February of 2010.
Wow.
What I really want to talk about is the rise of interactive drama. And apparently Quantic Dreams, which is the creator of Heavy Rain, is one of the biggest video game advocates of interactive drama.
On the forefront.
The first game that I played that was similar to Heavy Rain, and I'm sure you've all played Heavy Rain, or most of you have, or have at least some kind of interest, but may not have heard of Indigo Prophecy. Now, I got this for Xbox, the original, and I don't think you could play it on Xbox 360, unfortunately, but it did come out on PC, and the original name was called Fahrenheit, but when they were releasing it, it was around the same time as that documentary Fahrenheit 9/11. So they didn't want to call it that. They named it Indigo Prophecy instead. There are a lot of similarities. This is a scientific sci-fi thriller that you control. Some of the characters are some of them aren't.
I missed that one. Is it like Deus Ex kind of thing? Like
No. It's. I'm assuming you've played Heavy Rain.
Oh yeah. No, I didn't mean the game. I meant the story.
No, it's nothing like Deus Ex. The story in this one is people have been awakening from trances, and they find themselves having just killed someone for unknown reasons. The story takes place with Lucas, the main character, and he has just killed someone and woken up from his trance. So he was essentially possessed, killed someone, and he's taken it from there. And you control the actions of Lucas and the two detectives on the case, and I believe someone else, but it's been a long time since I played. Some very odd things happen, and instead of, like Heavy Rain, instead of just hitting buttons to do something, something happens and you have to react, or you use motions as opposed to hitting just buttons to do things, and it definitely changes things up. Now to talk about Heavy Rain. What's very interesting about Heavy Rain, and I'm going to be looking down a lot because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. The first thing I want to say is that it gives the audience the responsibility of decisions. And that's very important. As opposed to, let's say, God of War, who he's on a path. The artists and writers have already given you that path. In Heavy Rain and other interactive dramas, you have to decide what is going to happen. It's essentially an upscale, choose your own adventure. That's very important because, and we bring this up a lot, our decision as comic book fans to kill off Jason Todd, to have Joker kill Jason Todd, left us with that sin. We committed that crime because we wanted it to happen. In this, that is your responsibility. If you decide not to, play with your child, that is your fault. It is not the character's fault. It is your fault.
The only problem is there's not really any penalties with that, is there? I don't know. I keep hearing that when I played through it, everybody's it's different for everybody.
Right.
Some people flinched when that guy was going in his pocket and killed the guy, and some people let it happen. That sort of thing. I can't remember which one I did, but there doesn't seem to be any change in story. It's just you have one less. I mean, because when I think back at Heavy Rain, I also think of L.A. Noire.
Right.
I get them kind of mixed up sometimes. Like, which one is the train scene? And I'm pretty sure that was Heavy Rain, but I don't know.
Which train scene? The one with
on the train tracks?
Yeah,
following the blood and stuff.
That was Heavy Rain. Right.
Yeah. So, so L.A. Noire had that same type of feeling to me, but you had more consequences, I think, in L.A. Noire, didn't you? Because you could shut up a witness that you'll never be able to get again.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Or something like that.
There is a huge difference, actually. In L.A. Noire, the effects of what you do is apparent right off the bat.
Okay.
You lose the ability, that's it, end of story. In Heavy Rain, the little things that you do kind of lead you to like the biggest decision that you have to make is almost made for you because of all the small decisions you made. You wish that there was a penalty, and I agree with that. If you knowingly do something that is wrong, and you should pay for it, or if you knowingly do something that is right, but you know the consequences, you should pay for that too. And that brings me to the next point. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that some of these games, they make me not sure what I want, because say there's a choice that you can make. If you can only make it one time and you make the wrong choice, but you're not informed, then it's like, oh, come on. Like, of course it's not that person, but I was forced to make it. But that is more real. But is it more fun?
Well,
is reality fun? I mean,
okay, I was going to get into something else, but I'll get into that first. What I like about interactive drama and these kind of games is it brings in all this duress on you. You have the physical.
I was just gonna say, listen to me though. Like, if you're gonna do like a choose your own adventure, right?
Yeah.
You always peek at those pages, right?
Oh, but that's
just having the choice to do it though. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like I did this and now I'm dead.
You're right.
Well, I'm gonna go back and do. You can't do that with this game.
You're right. But that changes things. See, the interactive drama is really trying to grab you and put you in the place of it. Like, for example, live action interactive drama, they make you be the actor. And they throw, it's essentially a clusterfuck, and you have to act through it, which is very interesting. It's very, engaging. What this game does, and this is why I like it so much, is it puts you through the emotional duress that someone else would. You can't make that decision again unless you play through the whole damn thing, but you want to change it. So now you're forced to try and do the right thing under heavy circumstances. For example, on a small scale, and I'm sorry for cutting you off so much. On a small scale, one of the things that is the conversation options. They're little bubbles that float above your head, and sometimes you don't even get like a very good, clear message.
Right.
And if you do nothing, that moment is gone. It is no longer your moment.
Right.
So you're emotionally engaged to want to pick the right answer while sifting through what they're the moving things. So you're kind of confused, and it really takes you on this emotional ride.
Yeah, it's true. But on the flip side, like say you were to come in the room and you look like you had a gun, I could react to that more clearly than a character that might have a blocky, you know what I mean? Like, it's the graphics kind of lend to getting in the way. Like, you're not sure about his facial tick or whatever.
Right.
I mean, it happens in L.A. Noire all the time. Like, I was like, this character was doing something, and I thought it looked shady.
Yeah.
But apparently not.
Yeah,
apparently
I totally did that too.
So
yeah, they look off like they're lying, but they were not.
I understand that in life, there is no redo when you make a snap decision that's weighty like that. I understand that, but you're also there. You're really there. It's like, and you have all the context of your entire effing life.
Okay, well, okay.
So these games not giving you any kind of.
Well, think about it this way: as a police officer, you're walking down the street and you see someone reach in. And you see something shady going on, but you're not sure. He reaches in.
What part of town am I at? I mean, if they say you're in the red light district, I still don't know, if there are gangs around, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're really a cop on that beat, you know everything.
Well,
you probably know the guy.
Accidents do happen, and people will have to live with this.
But
my point is that this does take you on a very stressful, emotional ride, and I think that
don't want anybody to think I don't like it, because I did really enjoy it. It is really fun.
But it is not your traditional game. It's not like you can go back to the last save point.
Either.
You
have some tense moments, but otherwise it's pretty much you're just watching a story. Make sure you don't lose clues or overlook them, because they might not be there when you come back or whatever.
Right. The next thing that I wanted to get into was the physical duress, the physical stress that you go through. Let's say you're trying to break into something and you have to turn the doorknob, and if you haven't played Heavy Rain or any interactive drama like this, mostly, I think actually the only ones to do it like this is Quantic Dreams. But instead of hitting buttons, you kind of pull out fluid motions. Like if you're going to turn a handle, you have to move your thumbstick like this. But if you want to do it quietly, you have to move it slowly. So your hands are kind of really stiff, trying to move it nice and slow so no one hears it. So not only is it emotionally and psychologically stressful, but it's also kind of stressful on your hands as you're trying to do it. But you want to just get on with it because that's what your body's used to. So that, and then you have to do the tap and then tap the right buttons at the same time. The motion sensitive, was that it?
Huh? You mean the QuickTime stuff?
The QuickTime sensitive. Well, I forgot the term for it. I'm an idiot.
Events.
Yeah. So yeah, that is entirely entertaining, and I think it pulls off well. I think it could be done better.
Yeah, I think that's my argument. Is I was really impressed and thrilled that they're doing it because it's fun.
It is.
As an interactive story, it's friggin' phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah, and
as comic lovers, it kind of fits right in there. I think.
Right, and I think that's.
Except you have choice.
I think that's what they're trying to do, is build a new genre. You have fighter genre, you have first person, you have RPG, and now you're going to have interactive drama. Okay. And I think that's very entertaining.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what else they do. The last thing I wanted to touch upon was the adult audience versus the child. And by that I mean, as the child, as I brought up before, God of War, we have a linear story, a plot line. This is what you do. Plus, it's hugely action-packed and fantasy-oriented. Impossible things happen. Whereas in this game, in this emotional drama, it's more adult-oriented in that the decisions that you make are everyday decisions, small decisions, brushing your teeth, playing with your child who just suffered the loss of someone. I think it was the mother, right? The mother died. Very grown-up things that demand your attention, your decisions. And it's not a linear thing. It's all of your decisions push you towards different outcomes. So I think that's something that more people should explore. Just the adult aspect. People who've been playing video games all their life and are now mature. This is a game for those more mature people who stress over the little things, playing with your child, or serving them dinner, or making sure that they do this. And then there's other decisions, cleaning up after yourself.
There was no smacking. Get snap out of it, kid. There was no option like that.
I don't believe there was.
Or like buy a puppy.
That would have been a great option. Of course, then who's going to take care of it? Then you have to do the little motions to feed it.
Be like like you have a box with holes in it and something struggling in there. It could either be the puppy, or it could be a kitty, or it could be the mother.
Struggling in a little box?
Yeah. I was just saying, it'd be funny if you had these weird choices. Like, don't worry, she's not dead. I just kept her, locked in the basement. Here she is.
That would be a very interesting game.
You said adult.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for watching. Subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us, show us support any way you can. Thank you so much for watching.
And if you're going to the Emerald City Comic Con, let us know, or let me know. I'd just like to know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that information yet. I might sell your identity online.
Address, hair color.
But I would like to know if you're going to Emerald City Comic Con. I want to meet you.
And comments.
Absolutely.
That's it. Okay.
Bye.
Oh.
Yes.
I was trying to think of some witty thing to say, but like press L, circle. I don't know.
Quarter circle forward, quarter circle forward. I talked a lot.
Coming up, Batman in animated form.
Yeah, I did a lot of talking. I
hope you did.
Do you think I covered, was that good coverage?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really talk about the game. I talked about interactive drama as a whole.
I don't think that's a problem.
I wanted to ask you if you felt that interactive drama would be a rising genre.
Well, I think it's clear that I am excited for it. I don't know. I don't know if it'll make it or not, because they tried to do it in the original PS. I don't know if you remember it, but the original PlayStation had there was a couple of Japanese games that they were basically choose your own adventure, but they didn't have the interactive elements along with. It was just, do you do this or do you do this? And you choose it, and then it would have a short cutscene and whatever, so you tell yourself a story.
Huh.
Make your own movie.
Yeah.
So it's been around for a while.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's very much like...
I have no desire to play it again once I finished it.
Heavy Rain?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
I did.
There was just so much mundane crap that was kind of,
yeah, there was a lot of mundanity? Mundanity?
It was, noble and novel the first time,
right.
But the second time it's like, I don't want to, be nice to my kid again. On today's Duel review, Hot Rain. It invokes a plethora of different images.
Yes, it does.
Hot Rain. It's like ew and I don't know. It sounds seedy for some reason. Oh, that's great.